she ain't said nothing bad about him no more.
Yeah.
I ain't understand because I didn't know him.
He a little gangster. And he laid back. And talent-wise, when I see him in the studio, he remind me like a young dog.
Alright, it's becoming strange. This Birdman and NBA Youngboy thing, Charleston White suddenly came out swinging, which is pretty strange. Additionally, people are disparaging the entire industry because of what he's saying about Birdman. It seems to be more than simply business or music these days. He's implying that there's more to Birdman's habit of hanging around with these young artists. To be honest, a lot of people are beginning to concur with him. I'm not claiming that anything Charlton says is true, though. It doesn't sound like trolling this time, but we all know he's crazy. He seems to be hitting an issue that the industry is reluctant to discuss. Additionally, if you've been paying attention, Birdman's father figure behavior has previously been questioned. Do you recall Lil Wayne, the kiss? Yes, let's discuss it. First of all, Charleston White has recently been on one. He has been disparaging NBA Youngboy frequently, making fun of his supporters, calling them sentimental, and behaving as though he is too genuine for the younger age.
They just stopped fighting and killing each other between YB, Dirk, King Von, Rondo, and all. They just stopped killing 2 years ago. And the fans was beefing and fighting amongst it. So all of a sudden you telling me it's kumbaya now? If that was the case, all of these trained law enforcement agencies wouldn't be on eggshells right now if that was the case.
Everyone initially assumed it was simply another tirade. However, he went one step further and launched a full-scale assault on Birdman. That's like saying, homie, that throw man.
Man, I say, homie, that nigga thorough. He still blooding. Bandana out the back pocket, still looking like the man. Ain't nobody saying, Birdman, you looking like a young. So I don't want to hear that young. If you can play.
He began to imply that Birdman isn't the kind mentor that many believe him to be. That, like he did with Lil Wayne in the past, he has been secretly manipulating these young rappers. To be honest, it doesn't seem all that implausible until you start making the connections. Birdman has always prioritized his family. However, it's possible that his family-oriented approach is precisely how he maintains silence and loyalty. Now, consider it. Birdman treats all young rappers equally. He refers to them as sons. He brings them inside. He makes promises about legacy, protection, and advice, among other positive things. At first it seems innocent, but ultimately something always goes wrong. With Lil Wayne, we witnessed it. With Young Thug, we witnessed it. And now we're witnessing it with NBA Youngboy, another young man from Louisiana, another protege, and someone who goes by Birdman Pops. Birdman seems to be following the same script. Find a young person, support them, give them a sense of security, and then tighten your hold. It may not be grooming in the traditional sense, but it is undoubtedly manipulation. Under the pretense of love, it's emotional domination. You guys already know where this is headed because everything clicked once more when folks started watching those old Birdman.
You all right? Yeah, Big Lack, how you doing, Wayne? Big Stone, everything good? My bad. Look, got the whole family.
That video of them sharing a kiss? Yes, it reappeared, and now it appears to be more than just a father-son issue. Birdman stated it was all love back then. He declared, "That's my son." Come on, Wayne wasn't even in his 20s. He had known Birdman since childhood. It's a complex dynamic. It has nothing to do with the kiss itself. It has to do with its power. Birdman has consistently blurred the distinction between manager, mentor, and something else. It's a pattern, not a coincidence, to watch him repeat that with other artists. Let's move on to NBA Youngboy because, to be honest, I find it awkward to even mention this portion aloud. Guess who jumped straight in as everything began to fall apart for him? Legal issues, house arrest, chaos. Birdman, the mentor, the savior, who always seems to show up when a new rapper is at their lowest like clockwork. He began referring to Youngboy as this generation's biggest rapper.
NBA Youngboy, bro, that shit ain't normal. Nah, he not normal. He's special. Big money right there, brother. I think he's $1 billion.
It seemed encouraging at first, but then you see how close they really got. Birdman was taking a plane to Utah to live with him for several months. Suddenly, Youngboy is more than simply a pupil. He is the son, and that's when things start to feel strange. Because, let's face it, Birdman has been in this industry long enough to understand how the general public perceives that kind of setup. He still leans into it though. My boy is that, my son is that, he has my admiration. He seems to want everyone to think of him as a father figure who rescues lost artists. However, the people he rescues invariably wind up feeling much more alone. Everything about Youngboy altered during that time in Utah. No more impromptu Instagram lives or haphazard interviews. Birdman's circle was the first to receive every action, appearance, and word. Silence seems to be the price of protection. I'm not even attempting to sound messy. You can't call it healing if the person loses their voice during the process. It just feels like control. It's eerily similar to the scenario we previously witnessed with Wayne, the story of the father figure, the family's pledges, and the authority behind the scenes. And the reason I detest it is that Youngboy is one of those musicians that doesn't hold back. It's clear that all he wants is tranquility, his children, music, and a calm life. However, rather than allowing him to breathe, it seems as though Birdman is reconstructing him from the ground up, shaping him into this version that is appropriate for his legacy. Therefore, if someone wants to, they can continue to claim that it is mentorship. However, that is no longer guidance when each lesson has new limitations and less flexibility. Ownership is that, but let's take a moment to go back. All of this is essentially modeled around Lil Wayne's narrative. When he was 11 years old, he actually met Birdman. He was reared in Birdman's world, complete with celebrity, wealth, and allegiance. After that, he referred to him as Dad. He had complete faith in him. They were inseparable for years until everything fell apart. When Wayne eventually spoke up, he said that his freedom had been taken away. His music was being delayed, and his money was stolen.
I gave Wayne about $400 to $500 million. Drake got about $500 million, and Nicki got about $300-400 million out my pocket. No cap. You don't believe me? Ask them.
Wayne ultimately filed a tens of millions dollar lawsuit against Birdman. At that point, everyone understood that control was more important than greed, because you can never fully recover from the betrayal that occurs when you discover that the person who brought you up in the industry also controlled every aspect of your career. Later on, they might have reconciled. Yes, but now pay attention to Wayne. He no longer speaks of Birdman with affection. It's business. Cold, aloof, cautious business. People are concerned about Youngboy because of this. Because the mentorship, loyalty, and loneliness all seem to be repeating the same scenario, albeit in a more subdued manner. Guys, the fact that Youngboy and Wayne were only children when they were drawn into this system is what truly saddens me about it all. Both of them come from hardship. They both want a family. They both paid for it in different ways, and they both discovered it in Birdman. For Wayne, it meant losing authority over his own creations. Youngboy is experiencing a loss of tranquility. It's painful to see because, despite everything they've been through, you can tell these guys still want for loyalty. They continue to call him Pops, forgive, and protect him. That is emotional reliance, not mentoring, even if the receipts indicate otherwise. And that's why this tale seems so weighty. Charleston White may be messy. Then, despite his loudness, he expressed things that many others were afraid to say. Birdman's entire father figure persona may appear to be mentoring on the outside, but it's really about control. Additionally, if you've been following the game long enough, you may see it happening again at this very moment. Lil Wayne made it out alive, but not unscathed. NBA Youngboy is still involved, and the outcome is uncertain. One thing is certain though, perhaps it's time to stop referring to it as coincidence. When the same individual frequently appears in the same kinds of stories, because if history continues to repeat itself, perhaps it is no longer